Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud. Today I've got a little bit of Microsoft Flight Sim news about two big projects. So many of you out there are very excited for the PMDG 737. Today I can confirm that aircraft has entered beta for the first time, meaning it's being tested by external testers. Sadly, I'm not one, but to be honest, I wouldn't do a very good job. But what does that mean for you guys? In today's video, I'll be talking about it. In addition to that, Aerosoft confirm, or at least speculate, about what Airbus aircraft they'll be working on. Sadly, it won't be an A380 or A350 by the sounds of it. Microsoft Flight Sim news never stops coming out, so if you enjoy these videos, be sure to like, comment and subscribe to stay up to date. But now, without further delay, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's start off with the most positive news with PMDG. Robert Radazzo confirmed on the PMDG forums yesterday, well actually today, at 12:05 in the morning UK time, that the product has now entered beta. This means it's being handed out to external testers. And indeed, all of them have received their copy of the aircraft now. He says it's been a busy week for the development team, understandable as it has entered a critical stage of testing. And he does indeed share some screenshots. We've got one of the heads-up display in the cockpit and it looks marvellous. It's also got that thing that I'm quite used to on the likes of DCS and indeed VR on Microsoft Flight Sim, where you move around and the heads-up display correlates to where you are. You can see the cockpit is a beautiful array of lights. It looks really nice. And indeed, what's outside does help to make this screenshot look even better. Beautiful dusk, it would seem. Moving on to the second screenshot, we get an external shot of the aircraft looking awesome. Nothing that stands out explicitly here, we know what the aircraft looks like. And in this case, it looks very good as always. Now at the bottom of the forum update, what stands out to me is what he says here. Regarding performance, a lot of people have asked about it. Now the aircraft's in beta and been handed over to some external testers. They expect to be able to give us some pretty solid performance information this week. This is going to be a critical bit of information that I will certainly be reporting on because of course it's a very important thing to know for so many people out there. Will I be able to run this aircraft? Will my system be able to go anywhere near it? Hopefully what we get here will give us some indication. We've got nothing yet, but the fact it's gone into beta now means this aircraft is getting closer to a position where you should be able to say whether or not you'll be able to run this. Significantly, they state that the build they work on is the development build, but the one they've handed over to the beta is slightly more optimised, it would seem anyway. I would imagine at the moment there's not much difference. All I can imagine they do is the aircraft they've handed over to the beta testers have slightly less features in it as opposed to the ones they're working on at the moment. That would make sense to me, but you never know how they do it. That's just what I'm feeling from here. He does say at the moment he's quite pleased with the performance result, to the point where he thought something was wrong, so hopefully it's going to be pretty forgiving for an aircraft of this type. And he finishes it up with the final sentence saying he's going to spend some time over the week video editing. So keep an eye out for videos of the PMDG 737, I'm sure it's going to blow our expectations out of the water. I am so looking forward to it, as you should be as well. Keep it up guys, it's great to see the PMDG 737 entering beta. Now we move on to a good or bad post, depending on how you look at it, from Mathis Cock at Aerosoft. Now I'd like to say the Aerosoft team and certainly Mr. Cock over here certainly have a direct way of communicating with the community. Clearly taking on board the fact that honesty is often the best policy, and getting rid of the corporate hoo-ha. He is very direct to the Aerosoft customer base on the forum about what Airbus aircraft would be brought over. The A350 and the A380 will not be brought over, as frankly, For the A380, it's about as commercially interesting to them as it is for the airlines, i.e. it wouldn't make money because not many people would buy it, especially when you've got the likes of the fly-by-wire A380 coming out. There's really no point here. I can see where Aerosoft are coming from. And with the A350, to quote, you can forget it. There's not enough data out there to make a serious A350. They can get the data for some older Airbus aircraft, but not the A350. It's basically too new to be able to get reliable data in. If he's being completely sincere there, that makes 100% sense, and I don't see why they have any reason to exaggerate that. It's more than likely true, and probably a good reason why they can't make it. But that leaves a significant portion of the Airbus A3 family left. We've got the A318 and the A319 and the A320 and A321. Now they've got a bit of a conundrum here. They're not too sure what one to work on. But it's apparent they're kind of leaning towards doing the smaller Airbuses, i.e. the A318 and A319. Now the A320 is not one they seem to be working on, purely because we've got the Phoenix A320 coming out, and the fly-by-wire A320 coming out, or being worked on I should say. Now you would think they wouldn't bother with that, but it seems they're still going to push ahead with it, purely because the Phoenix A320 will not be coming over to Xbox, and it works in a different way to how most Microsoft Flight Sim add-on aircraft have worked so far. The Phoenix A320 goes off external software that's basically brought in, simulating the aircraft to a high detail. It's not in-house like most of the other mods out there. That leaves a big market for Aerosoft to take advantage of with an improved A320 CO or improved A320 Neo. Now in this case I believe they're working on the CO, much like the Phoenix team. But I've got to be honest, he doesn't specify. So yes, they may be working on that. To me personally, I think the A321 would be a much better option. But yes, I don't know. You know, his direct way of speaking here does catch me off guard a little bit, because it's just a bit confusing the way they've looked at it. I would have thought go for the A321 as opposed for the A320, but as he says at the end, they prefer to fly an A318. To confuse it even more, the A318 in my opinion is pretty similar to the A320, indeed there's not much difference. The A321 is the clear outlier here. In addition, with the A318 basically being extinct now with a very few left in service, you would have thought the A321 would be a much better option. But I don't know, I guess it's up to the team there. So at the moment, it appears we'll be getting an A318, an A319 and an A320, with the A321 being slightly off the cards, it would seem, sadly. Personally, I think they should go ahead with the A321, but alas. Anyway, we've also got the A330 coming along. This is the first one they'll be working on, the first one to be released. And that makes complete sense here. We do need some more long-haul airliners in a Microsoft Flight Sim world dominated by short haulers. What do you guys think? Do you think Mathis is being too direct here, caring about money a bit too much? At the end of the day, they are a business, so profit is always going to be top. But in my opinion, if you work on a high quality aircraft, it doesn't matter what model you do. It matters how well you pull it off. There's my 2 cents, or 2 pennies I should say. What do you guys think? From me today, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. Last thing I want to say is a big thank you to my first class channel members. They get a shout out on the screen. You guys really do help me out. From me today, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my Amazon affiliate links down below for all of the stuff I use to fly, film and edit. I'll see you around guys. Bye bye.